You all, we are not licensed professionals. You know, we are just here on this roller coaster called life, trying to be better friends to one another, trying to be better human beings on this planet. If you're tuning in, we are not opting out of therapy. We are not advocating that you listen to us and not see someone who is licensed and trained to help you with day-to-day life on how to cope and deal. So we advocate for therapy a lot here. We believe that everyone has something to talk to somebody about. So, just like to make that disclaimer that we're just here giving our opinions and having discussions week by week. And we're hoping that, maybe you can find something useful, or if at least find a little humor in this terrible, terrible rock we call the world.
In other words, if you listen to our advice and you get popped in the mouth, don't at us.
Yeah, don't at me because you may get popped in the mouth again.
Ladies and gentlemen and everything in between, put your hands together. Welcome for the first edition of the Friendship Mania podcast. Broadcasting live from the electrifying arena of Riverside.fm, who is not sponsoring this episode.
Okay, bleep that out because you'll get a shout out when we get a check. Okay?
Period. In corner one, we have the undisputed master of banter, the woman who always has to have the last word, standing at roughly 5'9"-ish, I think. Kristen! I said 5'9". Don't let her stature fool you, though. She packs a punch in the kitchen with her legendary, rather smelly, hard-boiled eggs. And in the opposing corner, we have the towering giant who's always fighting a losing battle against sleep. The one, the only, Mickey.
Yeah, the gentleman who's never gentle. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Bop, 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 bop. Firework, 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 banger. All of the above. We didn't even talk about all we didn't meet. I was about to say, didn't we go see Kev on stage? Here's the thing. We surely did. We have a lot to discuss.
Yes.
Fireworks. Cool fireworks.
You gotta pop your pussy a little bit harder for that one. But yes, welcome to another episode of the Friendship University podcast, WrestleMania 41 or 40 edition, because I'm a wrestling fan.
Sound right.
We're now recording on Sunday of day 2 of WrestleMania, and I'm not watching it right now because I'm doing this podcast. So
you'll be there. It'll still be on when you get back. Trust me.
There's that.
It's quite long.
We're back after another hiatus because, that's what we do. We record an episode and then we disappear for a few weeks. But
we make promises that we just don't keep.
We just don't keep. We're really unreliable, kind of not shit, but it's fine. We're still young. We're still figuring things out.
Am I that young? Lately, I've been feeling real 60-ish.
Like I said the other day, age ain't nothing but a letter. So, do what you got to do with that information.
I'm gonna take that. Because R. Kelly said something similar.
And that nigga is in jail.
And that was
Find somebody else.
That was a problem.
Find a different example.
Find somebody else. Speaking of jail, our not so good, always been a bad boy, Puffy Combs is looking at some real time. I don't know. He's got a lot of counts, a lot of charges coming against him, and he went ghost. But he recently just posted, I think it was like his son's birthday or something, and they were celebrating.
I'm pretty sure his son's also been arrested.
He is being named in some of the charges as a person who acted in association with his father.
Essay with your pappy that's the whole different level of weird.
It's
Like it's already
I
weird, but that's
almost
a
threw up.
whole different level of weird, really. Like,
I actually
see
almost threw
Jesus.
up. Yeah, I actually almost threw up. That is definitely his mini me.
Mm.
He looks just like him, no denying. He acts just like him. So I just hope that there's justice served in whatever capacity that has to be. This was a few weeks ago now that his house was raided, so we're just waiting on updates at this point. I did hear that Cassie, who is the woman who brought that first set of charges against him, that lawsuit, and won and got paid out within 24 hours, she is actually working with the agents in compliance for whatever, information they need, I guess. They were together for like maybe 15 years. So I'm sure she has some valuable information that she can provide to them.
I ain't gonna hold you. I have been getting bits and pieces of this story because just because I haven't really been keeping. I mean, I keep up with it enough for like I get the important updates, like his house being raided or him on the run and stuff like that. But like
Not
everyone it
him on the run.
involves and every little individual player in the story, like I don't know Cassie's involvement. Wait, I'm sorry, not Cassie. I don't know like Carisha's involvement with it. I don't know P Diddy's
Yeah.
involvement. Not P Diddy. Jesus Christ. Everybody else who's not P Diddy, basically, I don't really know how they fit into the puzzle piece. So really excited for the live trial. Hopefully it is live because I will be tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many trials I usually typically like to watch, but I'll probably watch that one just because I want to know more. And speaking of, coming full circle on this one, Meek Mill, who is I don't know if he was like the entertaining director or like the celebrity they booked for WrestleMania, but sir, you're not beating those allegations.
He
You're
he
you're
performed. He performed at
he did
WrestleMania.
like a music video that was like the intro for it, and me and my partner were sitting there like, okay, this is not distracting us from your very loud video that we all have seen or heard, I should say, on Twitter.
With the matching
So
outfits
it's
and
crazy.
all of
Um,
that. That's funny. How have you been enjoying WrestleMania?
yeah,
Is this
so
your first WrestleMania?
First WrestleMania, this is my first year ever really watching wrestling. I've been enjoying it. I mean, I used to be in the camp of like wrestling's fake and I don't understand it and this is stupid, but like while wrestling is quote unquote fake, I just kind of had to take my mind out of it from being like it's not necessarily a sport, it's a sport entertainment in a sense. It's a performance,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So like now that I
Yeah.
look at it more in that mindset, I kind of look at it like I'm watching like a superhero movie or whatever, which I think
Oh
is
yeah.
like the intended way to watch it. So now that I've suspended my disbelief, and I'm like, they're obviously like setting each other up for these stunts, and this is so fake and stuff like that. Now that I've suspended that part of my brain, I enjoy it quite a bit. So WrestleMania's been really fun. I don't know a lot of these people still. I'm still learning. I just pretty much cheer whenever my partner cheers. Shout out to anybody black who won last night. There was there were three girls, Bianca Belair, Jade, someone or another, and Naomi, three black girls. They won. Shout out to them. Shout out to the
Oh,
other black person who
congratulations.
won. I think his name was like R Truth or something like that. He had dreads. I know that. He won. Shout out to you.
Okay.
And then shout out to everybody who was there, I guess. Because like I said, I don't know names. I mainly just
There was a
watched with
lot
my
of celebrities
partner.
there. I
A lot of
saw there were a
celebrities, but
lot
a
of
lot of celebrities
celebrities.
no one really cares about. So no offense to those people. But yeah, so
Oh,
no,
all
it's fun.
offense.
I again did not know WrestleMania was a 2-day event. That's quite interesting to me. I'm very excited to go watch more of it. But in order for me to do that, we have to make it through this podcast. So yeah. Are you
Fair.
watching?
Not intently. Like I saw clips. I've seen clips of it. I not really a huge wrestling fan. Like I had friends who watched it growing up. I do have a few friends now who are still really heavy into it, so they keep me up to date. But I'm just kind of like you, rooting for everybody black. So
Truly, like
hopefully
what
they
else would
bring,
I do?
hopefully they bring it home. I did see The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, get laid out and then proceed to lay others out.
Mm.
So
It was a whole
he's
lot of laying out
like,
yesterday.
it's still kind of impressive because he's what, like maybe almost 50, if not 50 yet. How old is The Rock? Let me see.
I think it's like 50 something. I think it's a little over 50 actually.
If he out here doing that, 51, he'll be 52. Oh, his birthday's the day after yours. Did you know that?
Oh, yay.
May May 2nd.
So now you gonna tell me about my
Anywho,
birthday. That's crazy.
I didn't
That's
say the whole date.
that's crazy.
I didn't say the entire date.
No, I'm fucking with you. Even though it kind of reminds me of those things on Facebook or whatever back in the day where it was just like, tell us these questions like, what's your birthday? What's your favorite color? What street were you born on? What's your friend's birthday? Like,
Facebook
people,
really
stop
had-
giving people your passwords. All I have to do is type in James Jackson 95 blue, and now I'm in your Gmail.
Nah,
Stop.
I'm right there.
Stop it.
Big boy blue dog 92. And
There
now
it
we
is.
all in. Facebook really did get a lot of information out of us.
Still does.
I really want to wipe my digital thumbprint, but I just don't know how.
It's gone. It's there. It's there forever. Unless you're Beyonce. I mean, hell, probably not even Beyonce at this point, but it's there. I live by the rule of once it's on the internet, it's there forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure my face and my nudes are out there somewhere, but it is what it is. Like, I'm proud of my body.
You're
I love the way I
supposed to
look.
do
So.
no face, no case.
I mean, there is no
We
face.
talked about
There's no
this.
tattoo.
Oh, you know identifiables. Tell them it's
There's
Photoshop.
There's a piece of identifiable something on my body everywhere. If it's not a tattoo, it's a birthmark.
Tragic. I can wholeheartedly say that I probably don't have any nudes anywhere.
Have you ever
So-
taken a nude before? Be honest.
I have.
Did you send it to somebody though?
I did.
Ooh, scandalous. Honestly, I'm not gonna
No
lie.
face.
I was not gonna lie. I kind of figured the answer was gonna be no. I was like, Kristen doesn't seem like the kind of girl who's gonna spread eagle on her bed and let
You
that,
know,
let
when you
that
think
coochie
you're gonna-
breathe and send it to somebody. That doesn't seem like something she would do.
And you're right. I did not spread eagle. It was very tasteful in nature, but I also grew up in a time with the little Kims and all of that of the world. So, a girl, I will say this. I am thankful that my generation, for a majority of my youth, did not have access to the internet nor a cell phone, because there probably would be more incriminating things. I'm going to probably date myself. This may come as to a shocker to you. I actually took a Polaroid nude and gave it to somebody.
That's cute. That's kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie. I would like a Polaroid nude.
I got it back. This was the person that I thought I was going to marry. We had been together for like 6 years. So, but yes, I think their mom ended up
That
finding
sounds
it. It was crazy.
So romantic. Like, just the idea of like, hey
It
babe, I got you something. You just slide over an envelope.
I did. That's exactly what I did. I had like a little manila envelope.
That's cute.
And I was like, here you go, boo, while I'm away. While I'm, in
Kinda reminds-
another city, you
It's
enjoy
like
that.
them old fucking old movies or TV shows where it's like we have to get the file because that's where all the pictures are at or whatever. It's an
Yeah.
actual physical file that have pictures inside of it.
That actually
now
was what
it's
it
a
was.
iPhone that's encrypted and it's probably on Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we now have a thing called revenge porn. That's how serious it has gotten.
let me tell you something. If you ever, anybody ever post my stuff on the internet, know that I will sue the fucking brakes off of you. If you listen to this podcast, you know I'm waiting for a
itching to sue.
moment.
That hand.
I have
ready.
a lawyer on speed dial. My speed dial is mom, dad, sister, partner, lawyer.
Wow.
Scratch that. Mom, lawyer, father,
Nowhere.
sister, partner.
Nowhere. I'm nowhere on the list. Me and our
you're on the
producer are
list.
shook.
You're both on the list. Hold on.
We are shook. Out of 10 people, you couldn't find one space for us.
No, see, look, y'all can't see, but y'all are there. Y'all are there. Your calls go through when I'm on D&D.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay.
Appreciate that, Perv.
There's a lot of people who D&D, they will not hear from me. Okay.
I feel like D&D is just the excuse you needed to ignore people, because now you could be like, I was on D&D.
The crazy part is I
didn't see it.
very rarely ever I use D&D when I go to sleep or sleep mode, but like I very rarely use D&D, so I don't really have an excuse. My excuse be like, sorry about that, I just feel like talking. And that'd be
Fair.
it.
That's the truth. Were you
But
about to say something?
No, I don't remember, honestly.
Tragic.
Brain power really struggling here, but No, I don't
How's your
remember.
week? How have your weeks been the last few weeks for you? We're
Mm,
going into we're at the tail end, I guess, of winter. When is the first official day of spring? The second
that's
Sunday in April?
no, it's
Is
been
it
spring.
now?
It's I think it was sometime in March, girl. But it was the end of March. Maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, we're in
How was
spring
the
now.
rest of your how was the rest of your winter moving into spring?
Ghetto as always. Still have to work for a living.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, you do.
unfortunate. But no, I mean, all things like being serious. I mean, it hasn't really been all that bad. I've still been focusing on trying to like get my health back together and all that other stuff. But honestly, not awful. Just been busy between like work and working. Um, I have to go back to work
Mhm.
tomorrow, so there's also that update. I was off this past week, which I have done pretty much nothing. You know, me and my partner just spent some time together. We did some arts and crafts. We went on like a little bit of a hike or whatever, so that was fun. But you know, kept it pretty low key. I'm looking forward to our vacation coming up this
Oh
summer
gosh,
because it's
yes.
desperately needed. I haven't been on like a do nothing and sleep vacation or relax on the beach with a Mai Tai vacation since I guess that was like 2 years ago. Well, maybe it was a year and a half ago,
With
but
the cruise maybe
yeah,
that you went
the
on.
cruise. But that's not still not the same because I didn't have the drink
That's true.
package. Every time I
I
bought a drink, I was just like dying on the inside.
Yeah, I heard
Um,
it could get expensive if you don't get the full
just get the drink
package.
package. Just get the drink package. You think you're not
It's
going to spend that much in drinks unless you're like just strictly like not an alcoholic. But even then, if you want anything that's not water, just get the drink package.
That makes sense. Well, you don't ever have to worry about me getting on the boat after what happened in Baltimore. I know it was a ship. It's not the same, but I won't. I was already adverse to going on a cruise
Really,
before. I will not
that's
be doing it now.
that's what deterred you from it was hitting a bridge, not Titanic,
I
not
want you to know
pirates, not
that
nothing else.
when
That
I was
that was the straw.
oh, I'm gonna get there because there's a second part to that. Because you're right. I saw a video of people having to prep a boat to go into pirate water and all of the stuff that they have to do to make sure the barbed wires and putting mannequins so that it looks like people are on. No, I'm not interested. Why do I have to do all of this just to get in the water? It's too much. I will fly. I will set up a nice towel and or chair on the sands of an island, and that'll be my water intake. I'm not interested. Then I just saw a video of this like really tall diving board on a boat, and this lady was like, first of all, it didn't look safe. I don't even know why it existed. Like, why do you have a diving board so many feet off? In it's a boat. Like you're jumping. You could hit concrete. You could hit a person. It
I
was
know
just
what video
not
you're talking
funny.
about. That would definitely look a little crazy, but listen, she ate it. She was doing it,
She
doing the damn
did.
thing.
And I'm glad she ate it in a good way because it could have been a bad way. She could have ate it. I
Literally,
just, I'm not interested. Then the kids, it's too
that's why you go on an
much.
adult only. What is it? Virgin Atlantic.
Oh, I guess I could do a
Whatever.
virgin. Now,
Okay.
I will say my mom and her husband did go on a cruise a few years ago in the Mediterranean Sea, and that looked very beautiful. I would totally be interested in perhaps doing that. But no shade to anybody, but keep the Bahama Mama. I'm good. I'll just get on a plane. It's fine.
Meanwhile, planes are falling out the sky left and right.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But there's
But
A Bowman goes down almost every week these past few days,
ain't gonna
or
be my
or
plane.
whatever.
And
Amen.
I
Anointed in the blood of Jesus. I know that's right.
okay. And I'm on a plane max. I mean, unless I'm really doing like a huge international flight, I'm on a plane max 4 or 5 hours. You want me to be on a boat for 7 days? Just water. Just water everywhere. I don't see nothing. And then at night it's just darkness, everybody. Darkness.
Come on, darkness.
I can't. I don't know. I just never been into it. We went on a cruise. We went on some when I was younger, like small child. But I just have never really been interested in it. Like I said, maybe the Mediterranean cruise or something like that, where we're, cruising around Greece or Italy or like those kind of places. But no, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. And now that
Mm.
I'm super close to where that actually happened. Like before, it was like, man, that's crazy. That's real news. It really did happen, but that's so far removed from my reality. It's not anymore. Baltimore is like, I can get on the highway to Baltimore and be there in 20 minutes. I know exactly where that bridge is. I could have been on that bridge.
Did you go look
Too
at the
much.
boat?
Too close. No.
Oh.
It's too close to home now. So it's going to be a no for me, dog. But I am looking forward to our vacation. We won't give you too many details on that because nickels be crazy. On the internet, you just said whatever goes on the internet lives forever. So I don't want that information out there. Anywho, that's it. You're just good. Life been lifing.
Life and girl, you know, as good as I can be in this capitalistic hellscape that I got to work for a living in. You know?
We what's happened in these past few weeks? We went to see the Here's the Thing tour. That was pretty funny with Kev on stage and that chick Angel. Very good churchy time. We saw Nicki Minaj on
We
tour.
saw 2 good feet.
We saw her with her 2 big feet. She was on the good foot. What else happened? I feel like maybe that's it. You all went to go see Godzilla. What did you think about that?
Ridiculousness.
I heard that Godzilla,
but it was a good time. Godzilla never fails. I'm sorry. Godzilla is one of those like series. What's the plural for series? Series?
It's series.
So a series of a series is a series. Multiple series is a series.
A series is plural. It has to be multiple of it for it to be considered a series. Otherwise, you would just say a show.
Oh wow! The Godzilla franchise. There we go. It's one of those things you just know you're going in for ridiculousness. Like it's about a radioactive lizard that can shoot fire out of its mouth, but we don't call him a dragon for some reason, and all his other gang of friends, like a giant moth and a 3-headed actual dragon that can shoot fire or whatever. So I had a good time. Honestly, I had a great time. I'm controversial take, and some of you might look at me a little weird when I say this. And I know what I literally said, what goes on the internet stays on the internet forever. But I'm okay saying this. Kong, hear me out.
What you about to say?
Kong was kind of giving off daddy vibes. And I'm not upset with saying it. If you go watch Godzilla X Kong, that monkey, baby, let me tell you, if I was 65 feet taller, monkey. If I was 65 feet taller, bitch, it would be a wrap. That monkey was out here giving belly scratch from waking up from his nap. He was scratching his butt. Like I said, it was giving Big Daddy Kong, and I'm okay with that.
So is this a story about Kong? Because I heard Godzilla is not really in the movie that much. Like it's more Kong than anything.
It's a lot of Kong, but Gojira, he be out here. He was doing his thing too, honestly. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like he wasn't out here fucking shit up, but it was pretty much a heavy Kong thing, but no, he like I said, he was giving. I liked it. I'm gonna send you a picture of Kong right now and tell me you wouldn't want him cuddling up to you.
Is Godzilla still angry? That's my
question.
Is he still mad?
Absolutely.
He need better friends. This is a word right here because the company you keep is what you become. Because everybody around him angry too, but he needs some people who will calm him down. The Hulk found calm people, and what did he do? Become a professor and lived his life very nice and quiet.
And fostered a kid he had no idea existed. So
you sent me the photo.
Oh, I'm sending it to you right now. I have to find the right photo.
Wow.
I'll send it to you as we continue talking. But Godzilla was. Not Godzilla. It was a good movie. Like I said, albeit very ridiculous. There was a lot of ridiculous moments where I was just like, I know you fucking lying, but that's all part of the fun. Honestly, like if I wouldn't want an overly serious Godzilla movie because don't get me wrong, Godzilla -1 was more or less serious, but it was still really good. But I don't know. I like a good funny time. Not everything needs to be serious. Not everything needs to be like this is the introspective on the world we're in today and capitalism and global warming and the plight of the black woman or whatever. No offense,
Yeah.
black women on the podcast, but I sometimes I just want a good fun time. Okay,
Sometimes you do just want to
Tyler
laugh.
Perry at you. Not every story needs to be a black struggle movie. Sometimes it can be black people being wizards.
Sometimes it
Sometimes
can
we can
be
go slay a dragon. That's it.
sometimes I can do all good by myself. I don't have to do all
Okay.
bad by myself.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm not woman scorned. Sometimes I'm just woman.
It's
I could
crazy.
just be that. I could just be that. Okay, I may go see it. It's interesting that you say that because I was watching there's like a YouTuber I follow who gives like really good takes on movies and stuff. And he kind of touched on it. He was like, I love the fact that Godzilla like had this really historic film that like won Oscars, and then you just got chaos right at the start of 2024. And now he's just out here just doing what we love him to do, which is freaking cities up.
That's it.
So I'll probably go see it sometime. My mom just took the grandkids to go see it, so I know she'll be wanting to talk about that. Outside of that, I don't think how have I been? I've been good. It's almost summertime. I'm excited. I'm in a new city, so I'm exploring. Today, I went to this thing called Jazz and Blossom Festival,
That sounds like
which was
fun.
like it was really beautiful. It was a lovely day. It is a lovely day. It's still daytime, but so in the early 1920s, Japan gifted DC like these hundreds of cherry blossom trees that they still have. So every year when they blossom and bloom, they have like festivals and stuff around it. So they actually started blooming mid-March, but they're like at full peak now. So all of them are just full and the blossoms are falling onto the ground. It's a really beautiful sight. So went out, saw them. I'm going to look into joining some other groups because I like to like run and bike. So I saw a women's group of people in DC who like to walk and bike. So I don't know if do you know what Discord is? I actually just found out what Discord was. I wasn't using it, but they had me join their Discord, and so I'm just keeping up with that.
It's just another
I don't
group
really.
chat thing, basically. It's kind of
Is
like
that what it
a,
is?
it's like a Slack, I guess.
Well, that makes sense. So I'm gonna just try to link up with them. They do things like almost every week. Sometimes during the week, sometimes on the weekends. So I'm gonna find an event and get myself out there. I'm not gonna have a hot girl summer. I may have like a Tahine Tabasco woman summer, maybe little spicy, hint of zest,
Come
but
on,
I'm not
a
gonna be
chamoy.
yeah, that the chamoy woman summer. I can't have a hot girl summer no more. That's just not in me. It's too much. Sexy Red can have it. So we can get into the topic because I don't really have any other like topics to talk about. Not a lot was going on in the news from my end, which is good actually.
I was like, I'm okay with it not because what year it is. I'm sure we'll have plenty of news coming up soon. So
Oh yeah, we've got what is it? It's April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 months until election time, which is very interesting because there is campaigning going on, but it's not as heavy as it normally is. It just me? Does it not seem like there's a lot of campaigning going on for it to
I
be an
think
election year?
I think we've all just collectively accepted the fact that it's going to be geriatric versus geriatric. So it is what it is.
I mean, yeah. Okay, well, this week I thought we could hop into, a discussion around some theme that a lot of us like to shy away from, which is being vulnerable and vulnerability. I have a feeling that we probably have touched on this in prior episodes, or maybe have had a whole discussion about it before. I'm not really too sure. At this point now, there are so many episodes, it is what it is. You're gonna get the conversation that you get. But yeah, I can't distinctively remember what brought it to my attention. I know that I I think I was reading something, and then that's when I sent you that I would like to discuss this on the podcast. But I guess I'll start with just asking you, like, what is your take on vulnerability? Like, what does that mean to you as a person being vulnerable and as someone being vulnerable to you? What do those actions and things look like?
Um, I don't have a technical definition. I'm sure I could Google one and it would make perfect sense. But when I think vulnerability, both from a giving and, well, I don't want to say giving vulnerability, but being vulnerable and then being letting people be vulnerable with you, it fundamentally comes from a place of like safety and mutual respect and trust. I think there's a lot of different things that have to go or be in place in order for you to feel comfortable being vulnerable. And I think certain people or people in your life have to exhibit certain traits or characteristics and also foster a certain type of relationship with you in order for you to feel comfortable being vulnerable with that person. So when I think vulnerable, it's whenever I think vulnerable, it just automatically makes me think about trust. It really just comes down to like, do I trust this person where I can trust them with my feelings, how I'm like, what I'm going through, whatever the case may be. Like I said, I'm sure I could look up a technical definition of vulnerability, which I'm sure knowing you probably already have. So can't
I
wait to get
actually am.
the
I
can't wait to get
I
the actual
did.
definition. I can't wait for you to tell me that I'm completely wrong and vulnerable actually is like an
No.
ingredient in cake or some shit. Um,
No. I did, but I actually can't find it. So go on. I'm gonna look for it and see if I can actually find it.
Vulnerable is the need for special care, support, or protection. Because that doesn't sound. Because there's different kinds of vulnerability too. Like you can be vulnerable in the sense of like, oh, I'm a vulnerable person. Like I'm,
Yeah.
an old lady who lives by myself and has no firearm, but also being vulnerable emotionally. It's like
Not have no firearm.
vulnerable. I guess in my head, it also is making yourself, in lack of a better term, exposed to a potential, not a potential hurt, but you're exposing yourself in a sense of I'm exposing my true feelings to this person, or I'm exposing my struggles with this person. You can also apply it in a physical way, like I'm exposed, like I said, using that elderly lady example, like I'm a, someone who probably really can't defend myself, for example. So like I'm exposed in that regard. So like I said, it's kind of multifaceted. Like there's a lot of things that kind of go into it when I think about vulnerability, but I know we're speaking from like a friendship emotional side, which again, ultimately I think this comes from having that mutual safe zone, for lack of a better term. That's a deep cut if you know
Mm-hmm.
about that.
Okay,
Um,
if you know, you know.
if having that safe zone within a friendship group. Um, so yeah, what about you?
So I did look up the definition. I can't find. I had a note, but I don't know where it is. But I do distinctively remember one of the definitions standing out to me, and it was something along the lines of vulnerable is actually also a state that you can be in where you're playing bridge, where your penalties are higher, but if you win, your winnings are increased or higher. And that just really stood out to me because I was like, that when I think about vulnerability, that's what I think about. I think about like you are putting yourself out there at a risk that, maybe things won't work out the way that you thought. Maybe you won't get the reception or the response you were hoping to get. But that
Mm-hmm.
payoff essentially can still be worth it, if not more than what you could have anticipated. So I think
Mm-hmm.
you definitely hit on a lot of topics for sure, as far as like what it does feel like and look like to be vulnerable. I mean, I think it definitely starts. I'm not going to say start. It does have to happen in a safe space. I'll say that. Someone does have to feel okay enough to open themselves up. I'm not going to say that I haven't met people who were fastly vulnerable with me, a little bit more quicker than you would think in building foundations in any kind of relationship. I'm a pretty I'm a pretty open person, and that comes with being vulnerable, but I think a lot of times people equate that ability to open up. And I don't know if I'm lagging or not because it looks like my video may be slow. I'm not too sure, but um
Seems fine to me.
yeah, I don't know. My computer, we've had some technical difficulties. Okay, that's another story. Everything is trying to work against me. Anywho, I think people equate or try to equate openness and vulnerability with weakness, which in reality is not the case when you are doing it in the right scenario, right? Like you used the example of the elderly lady who may not be able to protect herself. Um, and no, no one ever wants to be in a situation where they feel like their guard is down and they could potentially face harm, danger, hurt, pain, whatever. But you will never get somewhere in any relationship. This could business wise, there are levels to being vulnerable, right? You have to have a certain willingness to be open because the only way you can receive is by opening up. So you're never going to be able to like it's like trying to go through a locked door. Like I can never get into the store if the door is never open. So I just thought that that specific definition, I think that's what it was. I think I had looked up the word vulnerable and I saw that that was one of the definitions. I was like, that's good. This is really speaking to me because it is a payoff. It's something that I I know it's something that a lot of people do have to learn for sure, especially the older you get and the more experiences that you encounter, the more times you've been hurt or encountered pain and just different things like that. But I don't know, how has it been for you? Like over the last, like, let's say 5 years, what level of vulnerability would you say you started at versus where you are now? And this could be in any relationship. It could be with you and I, your partner, in life.
Yeah, good question. But before I get to that question, I did want to also point out, or not point out, but like make a little tangent on something you had said about like the speed of which people can be vulnerable with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, so taking back what I said earlier about there needs to be like some form of like trust or whatever, or some form of like good, stable relationship. Because I do know a lot of people, myself included, sometimes are like, you met someone randomly at the club and you just started talking about your life feelings, or like, oh my God, my baby daddy cheated on me, or whatever the case may be. So I think vulnerability definitely just comes from a feeling, but that feeling can just come up for people at
Mm-hmm.
different times. Like some people can't be vulnerable with their friends for like years on years upon years. Some people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to trauma dump all my shit onto you right now. So,
I
you
mean,
know, it
that's a
really,
good point because for some people, it's like, oh, this is a stranger. They don't know me. They don't. Yeah, I'm never going to probably see them again. So it's easier maybe for me to like let some of this stuff out because
right,
I don't want people who are constantly in my life to know these dark parts of myself.
right. So just wanted to call that out because I definitely, when you had said it, I was like, you know, that's actually kind of a good point because I have definitely known some people who've been vulnerable very quickly
Oh
versus others
yeah.
who took some time, which is nothing wrong with that. You get there when you get there. But to your question, as far as like how am I more vulnerable or how's my vulnerability kind of like changed over the years? I, for the most part, have kind of always been a relatively open person when it comes to how I've been feeling. I sometimes will struggle to like voice it in a way like I don't know how to put words to what I'm trying to say, but you know, I've always been relatively open about like myself and the things I'm going through for the most part with most people. Not every single body gets that access to me, but I don't shy away from talking about the things that have gone on in my life with people. Just kind of how I am. I'll say that's more in a friendship vibe. When it comes to relationships specifically, that is something that I have been learning a lot more, especially in my most recent relationship, where it's like talking about my wants and my needs and my fears and my expectations and stuff like that. Where like I used to like be really like worried about like rejection or being left or seeming like a burden or seeming like I'm asking too much or seeming like I'm hard to please or whatever, which all of those things are true.
They
But
are not.
but if you want to be with my amazing self, you have to get the fuck over it. So it is what it is. I am hard to please. I do ask for a lot, but it is what it is. Okay. No shame, no shame in it. Okay. Like come correct. um, but yeah, so like, you know, it definitely like part of the stuff came from like me again, me being afraid of rejection or me being afraid of abandonment or judgment or whatever the case may be. So that's definitely taken a lot of time. That's taken years of therapy, and me being in a healthy relationship where like I'm encouraged to talk about how I'm feeling, even if it's negative and whatnot. So I definitely have come a long way in that regard. Friendship wise, I actually think I've regressed a little bit friendship wise. Not recently, nothing happened recently, but like I used to be, like I said, very open and just talk about my whatever with everybody. I don't care if we were friends for a little bit. I would be like, let's get deeper. Let's talk about whatever. Let's do this, that, and the
Let's
third.
deep dive
Let's
in.
deep dive into our feelings or whatever. Now I'm not really that way anymore. Like I am like thinking about it as I'm talking about it out loud. That was more so me trying to connect with other people and like okay, if we can talk about these really deep feelings, that means we have a really solid relationship and we're gonna be friends forever, whatever the case may be. We're like, I don't really do that now. Like I let people come to me, but I'm not really like the one to be like, oh, let's initiate these deep heartfelt conversations. Like I just let people kind of come to me when they're ready, and then if there's something I really want to talk about, like I'll bring it up when I want to. But you know um so I think I've made a lot of really good progress in both regards. Like one, being careful who I give that energy to and making sure that I'm giving it to the right people, but also like being more open at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I think I probably could say for the majority of my life have been a pretty open and vulnerable person. I will attest that to my home environment. I had parents, especially my mother, who fostered talking and communicating and really made it a priority to like express your emotions and let's work through it. This is how you're feeling. How do we get to the next level? So I am very grateful for that because I do understand that that's not the norm.
Mhm.
It's funny because our mutual friend just recently met my mom, and I forgot to tell her that she's a hugger and a kisser. She like kisses you on
Mhm.
the cheek when she meets you, and she was a little taken aback when my mother did
Mm.
that.
Well, that's
So,
adorable. I wish I was there to see it. I'm
oh,
sure it was
she definitely will
precious.
be hugging and kissing you as well. She probably will comment on your height. She loves a nice tall man, so
Can't
she
wait to
will
meet you,
probably be
mother.
like, "You're nice tall." Probably next time I'm in town, I think we're gonna do like a family event, and I'm just gonna have you all come over. One fell swoop, everybody meet.
Can't wait.
I've realized it gets a little bit more difficult the older that you are. When you're in college and stuff, and you're going home for the summer, it's easier to be like, "Hey, I'm bringing a friend home" or something. But when you don't live there, when you don't live in their home, and just different things like that, I now understand a little bit more why, as you get older, family events and holidays mean so much because now this is the only time that you get together. But that's a little another tangent. So yeah, I grew up feeling safe, having an environment where I felt like I could be vulnerable. I definitely had to learn that vulnerability, in my opinion, is a privilege. Not everyone deserves to have that level of access to you. I think if someone makes you feel like that you have to give it to them before you're ready, that should be a sign that maybe they don't need to have access at all.
Mhm.
And this is not to say, this is for someone who I would say has an understanding and not like walls and barriers up, right? Because there are some people who just walk around guarded all the time. And so some people do have to work a little bit harder to like penetrate those walls. But I definitely learned that lesson early on in life because I'm talking early on, like I'm 50 or 60 or something. I just have so
Like
many
I
more
said,
years
ain't
left.
nothing but a letter. Ain't nothing but no letter, okay?
But the first time that I got burned, I think I was burned in the sense of like being vulnerable, not let it burn like Usher, if you get my drift. Um, I want to say I may have been like middle school, maybe. And I'm trying to think. I probably was in middle school, and I had a friend, and I told them something about a little bit of a secret that I didn't want out. I mean, now I can say it. I had a crush on this boy, and so I was like talking to him about it, whatever. And they just went back and they told him, and I was like,
That's your
why would that? My aunt. And you kind of be a little embarrassed. And you're in middle school. It's like, ew, boys, girls. I don't. So I learned, I was like, okay, well, now I have to be more careful about the information that is a little bit more sensitive and who I give that to. And it just kind of went on. I mean, obviously, I've been in relationships where I've been vulnerable and it didn't pan out the way that I wanted. But I really had to take a lesson in like, you can't let the Judases of your life close your heart off, because
Okay.
then your heart will be closed off to all of the other individuals, the Peters and the Johns, and the people who actually care about you and want to be there and want to grow with you. And it's not easy, especially the older you get. I mean, yeah, I have come to the realization that I had a situation that fostered that, but the older that I got, the more life I experienced, the more pain that I went through. I had to actively keep the ability to be open and vulnerable as a muscle, almost, to
Right.
make me want to do it, because there were times where I was like, I'm not doing this again. Like, this relationship did not work out, and I'm not, like, I don't understand the people who can like relationship hop. They like go from one long term relationship with one relationship, and then they're in another relationship a week later. I'm like,
It's crazy.
how y'all this pain? I'm in pain and agony. My heart actually hurts. Like, how are y'all just getting up and being like, okay, well, one person didn't work out, so I'm gonna get under another. Um, but yeah, in friendship, honestly, friendship to me is so valuable. I think I don't want to say that's where I'm the most vulnerable. It's just it's the basis for any like long-standing relationships I'm going to have in my life. That's just for me. Um Business wise, I mean, obviously you're going to do business with people who you might not necessarily consider your close friends or something. But it's like you said, there still has to be that level of like trust there where I can be a little open. I think when you respect people, especially their opinions, it's easy to be open and vulnerable,
Right.
because I trust what you're saying. I respect it. So I know that regardless of whatever I'm going to say to you, the response is more oftentimes than not going to be for my good. It's going to be more constructive criticism than just criticism. So now, I did used to be someone who did not like to hear criticism. I had to get over, and being vulnerable, you got to be able to like take and give feedback and different things like that. So that was definitely something that I had to work on. And it was interesting because I could like I could do levels of criticism in my romantic relationships, but it almost hurt worse when it was from my friends. So I definitely did have to strengthen myself and understand that, these
Right.
people are telling me these things for my good. And a caveat to that is these are people that you trust, right? Like, criticism from strangers on the internet, or the kind of stuff that celebrities go through, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual constructive feedback from people who know you as a person in real life, in total, and they care,
Right.
and they have shown that they care about you, because you don't want to live your life based on the rules and predictions and stuff of other individuals, for sure. So yeah, I'm just hoping to remain vulnerable as I get older. I've actually seen the reverse in my life, where people have gotten more closed off the older that they get. And I don't necessarily feel like you have to be like open to just making all of these friends all over the years, and every year but I don't want to be a bitter old person, you know? I don't want to be like, get off my porch, or get off my
Come
grass, or
on,
get
get
off
off my
my
porch.
land. Yeah, I don't want to be like Stoop Kid off of Hey Arnold. Like, I want to get off of my stoop and live. So I think being vulnerable definitely helps with that, and it strengthens you. that's why I said I think some people liken it to it being a weakness, but it's really not. Like,
Absolutely not. No, I think that's such a not archaic. Doesn't sound like right, but I feel like that's definitely something that, as the new age of adults, especially these younger adults who are
mhm,
going to therapy more often, and you have all these like new therapy apps and
mhm.
Not SeatGeek, Jesus Christ, that is not a therapy app.
It's my
BetterHelp
therapy
and all
app.
this other stuff. Right? Okay, Ticketmaster is my
Okay.
therapy. Um, but having all of this new push for like mental health awareness
Mhm,
and taking care of yourself and mental health days and all this other stuff that was not typical conversations back in the day. How 20, 30 years ago, people would not have those kind of conversations. They'd be like, go to church or go to the doctor or whatever the case may be. So I definitely think that like vulnerability in general isn't as taboo as it used to be back in the day. Back in the day, men had to be strong and big, and women
mhm.
just shut up and go to the kitchen or whatever the case may be. Now it's just like, hey, bro, I'm ready to off myself. Can we talk about it?
Please, can I
Like,
just? I
please,
really.
like, I really need to talk. So I definitely think over like that is definitely trending in a really good direction. We're all in
Mhm.
mental shambles, and now we're all pretty much comfortable talking about it with each other, even comfortable talking about it on the internet with people we don't know. So I definitely am. I'm happy to see that. I encourage my nieces and nephews to like talk about their feelings and be open and honest about how they're feeling about different things, and even if it's negative, like just being honest and stuff like that. So really happy to see that becoming more of a trend these days for
Yeah,
sure.
it's definitely becoming more of a standard, which I will never forget when I learned that there was a such thing, like a doctors used to diagnose females with this female hysteria back in the early 1900s. Used to be a thing. If a woman got angry, raised her voice, they diagnosed her with female hysteria and they would slap her
Mm.
until she came back to reality
And
and
sometimes
and,
throw
and
her into
shut
the
up.
lake with a brick. Talking about she's a
Okay.
witch.
Oh, I
We've really come a
people
long way, but
we
not long enough as far as a society as humans really. We used to throw bitches into lakes, talking
we
about,
used to
well, she escaped,
say
she's a witch.
you're a witch. I'm going to push you off of this 50-foot cliff. And if you fly, this is where I'm trying to understand the logic, right? Because let's say I really am a witch. You think I'm going to fly back to the cliff for you to burn me at the stake? I'm
Okay.
going to fly away and you'll never see me again. You probably
F.
won't see your children either because I'm going to snatch them. Like,
It's crazy.
the logic is just not there in certain areas. I really do not understand how certain generations made it, because it's the brain.
Common
it
sense
was just
really ain't that common.
it was just out there in the ether. It wasn't there. But yeah, it really is a strength. I am glad. I have specific feelings about like this level of access people have, because on one end it's great that now it's not something that's not only taboo, but it's not just something that's deemed for the rich or famous. The everyday person can now feel okay and even justified in going to speak to a licensed professional or seeking out help to cope with their day-to-day activities. So I definitely appreciate that. You also have on the other end where some people take it to the extreme, and then you get like the TikTok therapists who've never in their life actually read a psychology book. They
Mm.
read Eat, Pray, Love,
They
and
really be out
now
here.
they're just, they have the three-course answer to you having a better life. So, which can be dangerous, but I think we attract what we're seeking and what we're putting out there. So, people who do want to learn more about being better mentally, being more open, they'll seek out information that falls into alignment with it. And the reason I think it's a strength is because it's almost like boxing, where the more times you're hit, the more your body gets acclimated to it almost. It's not
Mhm.
necessarily to say, like, there are two sides to that coin, right? You have the person who has been vulnerable a lot and they did get shut down or hurt often. And so now they're just a shell. They're just hard. They have all these walls up. But then you
Mhm.
have the other individual on the other hand who has learned that it's okay if people don't respond the way that you want them to. It's okay for people not to live up to the expectations you set. And also, too, now that I'm saying that out loud, I think it's unfair to have expectations for people and set expectations and not be vulnerable with them. I think that's a very unfair situation to put people in because first of all, you probably have expectations set in your head that you have never expressed out loud. So now this person is trying is it doesn't even know that they're trying to live up to a pedestal that you put them
Mm.
on, and if they don't
Me.
reach it, now all of a sudden,
It's literally me and how I used to treat people. I'd be like, why are you not doing what I wanted you to do in my head that I've never
right,
expressed wanting you
and
to
it's like
do?
if they don't reach it, then it's like, oh, I can't trust you, and you're not, and it's like I never even knew that this is what you were expecting of me. You never were open and vulnerable with me to tell me that this is what you desired. So that's just going to be the basis for it. Like, I'm a proponent of not giving people tests on material I've never given them to study. So I can't anticipate you knowing what's on my mind or reading it. And then also too, I think going back to the levels of vulnerability, you don't always have to like have this grandiose thing to sit down and talk to somebody about, right? To be vulnerable. I don't have to like be like, all right, so when I was 7, I fell
Okay.
down a well and I was attacked by a snake. It doesn't have to be a vulnerable moment can be sitting down and saying, man, I had a tough day today. I had a really tough day today. This is going on. The XYZ stuff is blowing up at work. I'm stressed. That's vulnerability. And I think when people digest it in smaller pieces like that, it's easier to understand that you
Mhm.
can be vulnerable in these relationships on a day-to-day basis. So we just had a conversation, you and I, where you expressed a vulnerable moment, and I thank you for that. I'm very appreciative that you trusted me enough to share what was going on in your life and what was happening. Would you like to tell the people what's going on?
If I must. So yes, friends, as we like to call the people who listen to our podcast, I guess. I have a pimple
Yeah.
on my face. That's crazy. Anyway, sorry. Yes. So as Kristen mentioned, I did express something rather vulnerable to her recently, and something like super awful. As you grow older, things don't really work the way they used to, or the way you expected them to work. Sometimes it's take pills for certain things to work the way they used to. Don't worry, it's coming your way one day. But no, in all seriousness, I am taking a bit of a step back from the podcast, at least from an active microphone role. Just have a few competing priorities and things that require my attention from a personal perspective. And those things definitely have been infringing on my ability to show up for this podcast properly. Just not having like a lot of mental power and bandwidth to engage in these conversations the way I would prefer to. You might have noticed that, I might be missing some episodes more frequently. You might have noticed that I seem a little like out of it, or like I don't really like have a good understanding of not necessarily what we're talking about. And this is not me saying like, oh, I'm like mentally like losing myself. It's not like that. It's more so I
No.
just need to get a little bit more time focusing on myself, getting my mental health back in order. I feel like I really fell off the bandwagon as far as taking care of that lately. And I also feel like I've had fell off the bandwagon with a few other things. So, it's nothing really bad, just realigning expectations and, pulling myself back together. But I don't suspect myself to be gone for the podcast forever. And I do anticipate coming back hopefully relatively soon. I'm really hoping this won't last too long, but yeah, as of right now, like I said, I just need to take a step back, focus back on myself, realign, really get my feet back on the ground and focus on some things. But yeah, so you probably won't be hearing my voice too much, but I'll probably still hop on for an episode here or there if possible. But yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, feel free to don't ask me shit.
Wow.
That's
You
it.
can voice all your questions and concerns to our lovely producer at Friendship University Podcast at gmail.com. She'll be happy to assist you. Uh, it'll help.
Get
That's a
help.
tagline. But yeah, so it was a moment where we had to have kind of a conversation, and um I think it went personally well. Like I said, I'm really proud of you, and I'm happy that you trusted me to be able to be honest and let me know. And the most important thing is always going to be you and being okay. Like you being good, and not just good, but in the state that you were meant to be in, like great, like a whole person. So um, you'll probably see like some guest appearances from people that may have already been on the podcast. You probably see maybe some new faces. This is something we had actually discussed beforehand, where we will wanted to have guests and different things. Our friendship circles and things, they vary on scale. So there are friends that Malik has that are completely different from friends that I have, and vice versa. So we've always kind of talked about that being a concept. So now you may just get an opportunity to meet some more people in our circle. Don't ask. The producer will not be on camera. As much as I have begged, maybe a voice episode. I'm going to do my best, people. Maybe if you run over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and blow up our likes and comments and leave us 5 stars, she'll decide to get off that back of the bandwagon and come to the front of the class. But yeah, so I'm glad that you're finding some balance, and I'm super excited you'll still be a part of it. And I'm looking forward to some of the fresh ideas I feel like you have that will make us better. We're coming up on 2 years in May.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. Honestly, I just need, like I said, refocus, get myself back in order. I'm excited to kind of focus on getting my health back in order, getting like regular sleep. Hopefully, getting this DJ stuff kicked off as well. I feel like it's just been a long time coming with me, like just fighting general body functionality when competing that with trying to also grow and be a better person. So I'm really excited to kind of just like realign, get focus, really hit the ground running. And again, you'll be still hearing from me here and there. And then
Mm-hmm.
I do hope to make a more active role in this podcast in the future. But yeah, you're in good hands with the maestro of friendship herself, the girl who makes a mean hard boiled egg.
You will not let that go. So I don't. This is also a deep cut because I feel like you have mentioned this before. Malik and I used to work together in an office, and I'm gonna eat my breakfast. Period. So sometimes, some mornings, I was rushing. Hence, your girl eating her eggs in the office kitchen.
Mm.
Now, am I aware that eggs do have a distinctive smell? Yes. Could I perhaps chosen another breakfast item that didn't have such a pungent smell? I could have,
Could have,
but I didn't.
should have.
But when he told me that it was so smelly to him, I did stop. I started eating them in my car, or I would eat them before I left the house. So
Yeah,
that
no,
being
she's trying to kill
open,
me.
you told me how you feel. I like the smell of eggs. Eggs are like one of my favorite foods. I don't know why things that come from chickens are so good. It just, I mean, I don't understand. Even when I did give up eggs when I was vegan for like 3.5 years. I did. And that was like tough. That was probably harder than giving up any other meat. And even now, eating like fish majority and all of that, I still eat eggs. It's so good. It's like potatoes. So many variations of it that you can do. A nice hard boiled egg in the morning is sturdy. Just makes you feel like I've eaten something. My stomach's not touching my back.
I'm not
Then
a
you
big
just go
egg
on
person
about your
by
day.
itself. Like I like egg and other things. Like I like egg in like my fried rice. I like egg in my cakes. I like eggs in I like my eggs and my fried rice.
I like a nice egg on a burger.
Oh
I like a
no, so you're doing too
nice,
much.
yeah, breakfast burger. I like a nice fried hard egg, boiled eggs, scrambled eggs with cheese
Mm,
and omelet.
mm, mm.
They're just good.
You
I
know what
was
eggs
looking.
are? Aborted chicken fetuses. Or I guess they
Now
weren't really. I guess
that's
they were
just
never. I
unnecessary.
guess they were never really. Wait,
They're
no,
not
hold on.
full.
Eggs. Wait, hold on. Eggs were inseminated, weren't they?
Eggs are not full embryos. So chickens do lay small egg, like small chicken eggs that hatch into chickens, but they also I'm gonna try to be as technical as possible without, you want to kind of liken it to a woman, and monthly during our cycle is when we are, since we are not if we're not pregnant, we're dispensing the eggs that we're not using. That is what's happening with a chicken. So
Is that how that works? Oh.
they do lay eggs that turn into full grown chickens, but then they also have ones that do not have anything but the yolk in them.
Okay, so
I've
question. Like
actually
so
hatched the egg before that had blood in it. It was pretty disgusting.
okay, I have a question about chicken egg. So I know how women's eggs work and when it comes to like cycles and stuff like that. But so chickens just lay eggs that can just grow into other chickens. So chickens don't have sex?
I think they do. I think they do. They have to
So
have
is it
sex.
so is the egg itself? Okay, hold on. So the
The
chicken egg itself, the white egg,
Let me look.
is that without insemination from a male, or is that after insemination from a male? Because is that the embryo? Is the egg the thing the baby sits in? Like the placenta
So
that you're eating?
no,
Are you cracking open the placenta to eat the baby chicken on the inside?
if a chicken had sex with another chicken and it lays an egg, then more than likely that's going to be a baby chicken. But they still lay eggs regardless of if they have sex or not, is what I'm saying. So if they've had sex, it's probably a chicken. If they have not had sex, then it's just a regular egg with just yolk in it. Because they have,
Oh.
I think chickens have multiple ovaries. I think that's how it works. Now we don't, but let's see.
If
How
you
do
know anything
chickens lay
about
eggs?
horticulture, which is a word I actually know what it stands for because I took a horticulture class in school, so I should know the answer to
Okay.
this. I literally hatched an egg. I have a son out there that's not a cat or a dog. I have a
Oh
chitlove.
my god.
He's probably chicken breast on somebody's dinner now, but
Oh
I
Lord
raised the chicken
Jesus.
from egg
Clucky.
to clucky. His name actually
That's so
was not
cool.
Clucky. His name was Dr. Cluck. But Dr. Cluck, he was so cute. I mean, they didn't let them imprint on us for obvious reasons. But yeah, we had like a little incubator thing in class. We all got to pick out like our eggs or whatever from like it was like a mother hen that just had the eggs or whatever. Like they brought them to class. You got to pick out your egg, and it was pretty much like your project for the semester was making sure your egg didn't die. So you had the little
Oh my
incubator. You would make sure it's
gosh.
incubated. You would take its vitals and like do not x-rays, but like you would look through it with like a little flashlight to see how your egg was doing and stuff. So I'm a father. I was a father at the great age of 12. I hope
Wow.
Dr. Cluck is doing good.
I hope so too.
Um, probably again, I don't. He's probably dead at this point, either eaten
He
or died of old
probably,
age because
made
that
a
was over 10 years ago. I don't know how long chickens live, but
I don't know how long chickens live either. I feel like they have a long life expectancy, but I'm honestly not sure. There's so much about a lot
oh,
of animals.
do you know what? He might still be alive. Domestic chickens
See,
on average live 15 years, so he might be
yeah,
alive.
he might be alive. That
Shout out to
actually,
you. Hopefully he
shout out
is.
to you, Dr. Cluck.
Dr. Cluck.
That's a pretty
That was a fun
cool.
class, actually. That was one of
Yeah.
my four fun class.
See, those are the
See, that's
classes they need to be teaching.
that's
Cause
the
like,
closest thing to like one of the stereotypical high school classes I ever had. Like, here's the thing. Degrassi fucked me up as a child because I watched a lot of Degrassi before I went to high school, and I was like, "Oh shit, high school's about to be lit." parties.
Mhm.
You're gonna be doing home ec classes. You're gonna be doing
Mhm.
school shooter. You're gonna be doing Drake in a
Oh God.
wheelchair or whatever. No, high school was nothing like that.
Wheelchair
No home ec.
Jimmy.
You know how many cakes I baked in high school? None, because there was no classes like that. There was no woodshop class. There was no
That's cause
architectural
y'all
class.
woke individuals was like, we don't need to have home ec, and that's just gender
That's
forming.
before woke even existed.
We need people to know how to cook. Okay, you cannot eat noodles every day. Also, please, PSA. I know I've said it before, and I read another recent story. We got to stop eating the instant ramen. It is linked to so many cancers. It's not even funny. The 25-cent packs, the
I haven't
creamy
had instant
chickens don't have to
ramen
go.
forever.
It can't be on the menu no more. But yeah, but there are other ones that you can get from the Asian market that are a little bit better for you, but you still gotta read the ingredients and be a little
Speaking of
wise. But
things
yes,
that our community needs to let go of, let's just name off a few other ones while we're here before we go. So we are a little send off. Black people and no specific order, but let go of the following things: instant pack ramen, Irish
yeah.
Spring soap.
Please, Jesus, the hold that it has on the community, I don't understand. It makes you feel like brittle. You feel like a brittle pad after you use it on your skin.
Gone.
It's so drying.
Nissans. Let them go,
Oh,
baby. It's time to release them, okay? No offense, no tea, no shade. Just
no,
gotta
it's
let them
okay.
go.
It's okay because Nissan won't trick me again. You got me the
There's
first
better car
time,
brands out
and
there,
you ain't
girlies.
gonna
Get
get
yourself a
me.
Honda.
You ain't
Get
gonna get me again.
Hondas aren't that expensive. Get yourself a Toyota, okay? Time to
A
let go of the
Honda's what I
Nissans.
had. A Honda's what I had before I got this Nissan. That Honda did me good. I had that Honda for a
Okay.
very long time.
Next thing, R. Kelly. He's in jail.
God, just let the
Criminal.
man
Stop
go.
playing his music. Let him be in
Step in the
jail.
name of love ain't that
The-
good now.
It's
Come
really not.
on.
We got other options. There's so
We
many other
got other
options.
step classics. Back
We
up.
got to let him go. We
God.
simply must
You
let them go.
let him go. What else we need to let go as a community?
American Deli.
American Deli. We
Because
gotta
why
let
are
you
you
go.
serving these baby-sized chicken flats? That's it.
This
This it.
big.
This
That's
big.
how
It's
big
time to
that
let it
chicken be.
go. There's so many better wings places to go. Go to
And they
Publix
serving
and get yourself actual chicken wings and get yourself some lemon pepper. This time to let it
okay
go.
with
It's time
that
to let it
large
go.
peach syrup drink, killing our community.
Killing
Just
us.
straight sugar. We need
Gotta
to let
go.
that go. What else do we need to let go as a community? I'ma just say it because I feel like we can be better. Certain Dove products we gonna have to let go too. They ain't
Mm.
all created equal. They
Unless it's
not
the
all
Dove Beauty
created equal.
Bar, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Miami, Florida.
Let it go.
The earth is big. There's a lot of
The
places
earth
to
is
go.
very. There are
Miami's not the only
49 other
place.
states. There are 49 other states with multiple cities that you could go to.
Gotta go.
Miami is not the only place with a beach. Let's start there.
There's a lot of places with water.
It already
Miami,
done
gotta
cut
go.
college students out.
In fact, Miami
So
lets you go. Actually, Miami already
Miami
lets you
really
go.
did let it go. Miami really did it. Miami has single-handedly been ruining relationships since 2014. Friends, people are going to Miami as whole friend groups and coming back hating each other.
Single,
I don't even
friendless.
understand. Let it go. What else do we have to let go?
That's my comprehensive list right now. I mean, like I feel like that's a good start.
We need to let Black people hear me out.
Lamb chops.
I don't know our yes. We need to let lamb chops go, chicken and waffles. Hookah.
Whoa. I'll give you the. I'll get hookah. Yeah, chicken and waffles. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
I'm not saying completely. Just stop putting it on new restaurant menus as if it's the best thing since sliced bread. Okay, there are other breakfast combinations that we can do besides chicken and waffles. The waffles don't even really be that good. Okay, y'all don't really know how to make a good waffle. Let's start there.
But I'll give you the hookah though. Yes, let it go.
Let the variations of Hennessy drinks go. Okay, Hennessy had to come out and say, somebody said something. They were like, absolutely not. We do not approve this message. Let the Henny readers go. Okay, let the Henny slushies. The Henny thing is possible. Just let it fly away. Free yourself from the hold that it has on this. It's not even that good of a liquor, if I'm being honest.
It's really not.
You've got to let it go.
Black people, well, another thing you gotta let go. Buy now, pay later.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. That's people of color, period. Because I know some Mexicans who be using pay now, buy here too.
We gotta let it go. You ain't got the cash for it. Just don't get it right now. And that's in here. This comes from someone as a black person who has at least 4 or 5 active affirms right now. And is about to have another one very shortly. Okay, I'm paying one off this month to open up another line. Okay, I'm part of the problem. It's me. They said, "Oh, we're not going to give you a credit card." That's fine. I don't need one. I got Klarna. Okay, I don't need no credit cards. Klarna is the credit card.
Klarna has really.
Don't let me split up a $100 payment into 12 separate payments of $9.
$8.
That's not even the same thing. That's not even the same thing. It's not. You can't tell me. Yes, I'm paying $25 in interest, so my $100 payment is $125. But it's only $9 a month. I'll never notice it.
It just reminded me of 2 things on that, because not only the buy now pay here affirms, the car places that's the buy here pay here, we gotta let it go. Okay,
let it go.
Y'all are buying 1997 Chargers and paying $480 a week to these people plus insurance. Okay, just
drive
save
time.
Your tax.
Let it go.
Save your money. Buy a reliable car. You're getting these cars. They don't even go in reverse. You can barely park them. You're buying them with the original wheels that were on them. You're in the rain, just sliding all over the place on the road. No traction on your tire. It's just dangerous. I understand you have to do what you got to do, but sometimes it's better to just wait.
This is my last let it go. Mm-hmm. And this is specific to Atlanta, or at least the South. Black men, listen to me, baby. Let go of those Chrysler products. I know I said Nissan earlier. Charger, Challenger, Wrangler, Grand Cherokee. All of them. Mind you, I drive a Grand Cherokee. I'm also part of the problem in this one. But
you do have Grand Cherokee.
There are other cars out there. We don't all need Dodge Chargers. I know y'all all going to the same exact dealership in South Atlanta. Yep. I know which Dodge dealer y'all going to.
Oh yeah,
I've seen it. Let it go.
On that same wave, let the BMWs go. I don't know this is a stamp of status. You get your first big check for something and you buy a BMW. Let it go. There are better foreign cars out there. Okay, if you're gonna get a luxury vehicle, just throw a pin at the wall and you'll hit something other than a BMW. Okay, please let them go. My last let it go, I would probably say, Black people, let pit bulls go. Let them go. There are so many other variations of dogs out there. I mean,
actually, I'm not going to say let go of pit bulls altogether, because I don't think pit bulls are a problem. I think it's a problem that y'all want these Cujo-ass pit bulls. Y'all want the pit bulls who are going to try to murder someone because they were in the pound getting beat
is it
all
me?
the time. Get yourself a nice, cute baby pit bull.
Oh.
Did I freeze?
Yeah. You froze. You back. No, let them all go. Let the miniature ones go. The big ones. In the same vein, let the idea of not letting a professional train your pet go. Okay, everybody can't train a pet. I get it. It can be a little pricey. Sometimes it's a lot. But if you have tried for months and failed, please take them to PetSmart. Take them somewhere where they
Pets,
can get
okay,
proper training.
PetSmart, something. Ooh-wee.
That's my gripe. I think that's all I have for now. We can continue that at another date. I have a quote for us about vulnerability, and it reads, "What happens when people open their hearts? They get better." That is Haruki Murakami. He is a Norwegian author. He's wrote books about healing and different things like that.
Come on, Harajuku Barbie. I hear you.
Good foot, big foot, 1 foot, 2 foot, red foot, blue foot.
That's it.
Any final words on the topic for the people?
Honestly, no real big final words. I'll say, doing this podcast has been so much fun, and it is bittersweet for me to take a slightly less active role, but I'm excited for the future. We have a lot of really fun and exciting things planned for the future of this podcast and where we're going to take it in the future. I'm looking forward to getting back on this beautiful here colored mic. And yeah, y'all take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. Love each other. Continue to put pressure on everybody's necks who is around you and who tries you. And yeah, thank you guys for being understanding. I'm happy to have friends like you guys out there in the world. So this is my little mini sign off for now. Anything from you, Kristen?
My baby violin.
The world's smallest violin.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the future. I'm excited about where we're heading, and we're only going to get better with time. So I'm going to keep telling y'all until it's too late that you better get on the train now, because she is going up the mountain and you don't want to be on the back of the bandwagon because you didn't get with the program when you needed to get with it. You all know where to find us. We are on all social platforms at Funny Podcast. That's FUNIPODCAST on Instagram, on the Twitter, on the Tickety Talk. We also have a YouTube channel now. Pew, 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 pew. Friendship University Podcast. Go like, follow, subscribe, and leave us comments. Get our engagement up. If you can't do anything monetarily, it helps. Every rating you give us on your platforms, every time you repost our content, every time you like, follow, and subscribe our YouTube channel, it's getting our engagement up. It's getting us and our voices out there to more and more people. And so we definitely appreciate it. We're trying to reach the world here, to the top of the world, Craig. Yeah, that's all I have. Email us if you have any topics. Friendship University, the Friendship University at Gmail. Friendship University Podcast at gmail.com. It'll all be in the description box below. Mama is getting old, okay? I'm doing my best with what I got, like Mariah Carey said. Until next time, we love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace out.